A number of you guys were asking me in the comment section in my previous videos, what's the name of the song that I use at the end of each video or a lot of the videos that I have. The name of the song is called Left Behind by John Echo. I'm John, and that's my author name, John Echo. And I wrote a book called Crossbones and Skulls, A Dead Man's Riddle. I put the first chapter online for free on YouTube for the purpose of just for you guys to listen to it. But with each song, I try to put a song in each chapter for the audio version of it. And so, just real quick, I wanted to tell you guys the back of the book. Time is running out as the storm grows cold. Admiral Juan Santos Nelson's death. Wow, I cannot read. Let me start that over again. Time is running out as the storm grows cold. Admiral Juan Santos Nelson's death is the spark, but the riddle tied to the myth of Solomon's gold is the fire. This isn't just a pirate's tale, it's a philosophical odyssey wrapped in cannon fire and existential crisis, where every clue leads deeper into the soul's reckoning. If the bait is greed, then Solomon's wisdom is the hook, hidden within 5 ancient coins that hold the keys to solving the riddle. These coins are scattered across a cursed ring of islands so forsaken that even God is said to have abandoned them. To find the clues will require more than gunpowder and wit. It will require an uneasy truce between two bitter enemies who must unite and solve the dead man's riddle before the final storm, consuming them both. Either way, it will cost them everything because the riddle doesn't just demand answers, it demands transformation. This is a story of revenge turning into an impossible redemption. Okay, so the song I wrote is for one of the chapters, and one of the chapters is it has to deal with a pirate. He's called a pirate Khan, Khan, which is higher than a pirate lord. He's essentially the best of the best pirates, which is this character is somewhat responsible for the Golden Pirate Age. And one of the long story short, the chapter ends with this song in the audio version of with the song called Left Behind, which is essentially the premise of he's left behind and he's got one more chance to get it right in the world that he's in. He's left behind in the world he's in. And so I wrote this song. What's most interesting about this is with the Exodus, what we're doing as with the Church of Philadelphia is we are going to be ending our Exodus soon, and how many people prayed for confirmations before September 23rd, 24th, and Joshua ever arrived on the scene. Many people had visions and dreams that 2025, all these kids came out with confirmations and all these people, and it was already, if you watch a lot of the watchers, a lot of people already expected that was going to be in the year 2025, this Exodus period. What they didn't know is that it was going to be a process, and that and it's going to look a lot like an Exodus as we, the Church of Philadelphia, clean ourselves up, or is transformed and then raptured out of here before the bombs go down. Well, at least that's the plan, right? I hope. So I was asking Christ, Lord, how come everybody else gets confirmations and dreams and I get nothing? And then eventually I did get my own confirmations, and they're always in the clouds. One of the best confirmations I did have, Jesus always shows me things in the clouds, so I saw a pregnant woman, and she was giving birth to this child in the clouds. These clouds are literally forming as fast as like I'm watching TV. That's how fast these clouds are forming. Big pregnant woman comes on the scene. All I see is her belly, and then behind her belly, a baby is literally forming into a full-size fetus. And then an angel shows up on the scene next to the baby, while there's a big huge dragon. And then the angel grabs the baby and flies off before the dragon has a chance to snatch the child. And then as that scene ends, the dragon turns its head and looks at me as if it's been angry, and now it's going to come after me. And that was one of the most vivid visions I had ever had in my life. And in fact, I had to look back because because it looked so real in the clouds. Anyways, before then, I was not getting any dreams, visions, confirmations. And then one day Christ says, "Hey, you know that book you have?" I said, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, you know how you tell me that you're not satisfied with just seeing numbers, because numbers aren't good enough for your confirmations. Just because someone sees a 923 on a license plates or whatever, well, for you, your confirmation is your book. Well, I wrote the book before, I just finished the book and sent it into the Amazon contest before Joshua ever really came out with the message. So I know, and for 6 months I was pounding this thing in, because the contest was done in August, and I just finished the book in August, and that's when I was learning about the whole Joshua thing, and I had no idea that we were going to go through this whole Exodus deal. Long story short, the way this book ultimately confirmed it to me is I had never felt like I was really writing the book. I felt like something else was always writing the book for me. Um, Originally, it was a kid's coloring book. That's how I started off, and then when I sent it to the editor as a kind of a rough draft idea, if it was a novel, she ended up falling in love with it, and she said, "You gotta flesh this thing out." So 6 months later, I flesh it out. And the main way this book became a real confirmation for me is because I asked God, as we're going through this Exodus, why the riddles, why the puzzles as we go through the Exodus? And he says, well, look at your own book, for example. Why did I add a riddle to my book? Well, the book is about a storm coming, right? And these guys have to solve it together through a riddle and Solomon's wisdom is what solves the riddle for them. Just like the Bible is the wisdom for us unlocking the when the rapture may be, and all the signs, but more importantly, the riddle or the puzzle, in your case, or the riddle in my case, and through this book, it was I'm just going to read it. The puzzle pieces or solving the riddle is a transformation needed to change these guys in the book as they face their own ultimate storm that's inevitably coming for them. Just like working together as the Church of Philadelphia to figure out this whole Exodus process for the rapture has been used to unite and change us all to the bride we were meant to be, spotless and pure. This is why this book has ultimately become my confirmation, because it wasn't just one sign, it was 316 pages. I literally had to sit down as I'm listening to this voice in my head, unfold everything, and then not even knowing that this is going to mimic our own Exodus, and then real transformation through the puzzles and riddles had to come through all of this. And so why the puzzles? Why the riddles? Because it's all used to transform us into a spotless bride that Christ needs us, and unite and make new and wonderful new things have come out of it. People have met each other that will be best friends for the rest of eternity through this. And I'm even starting to meet people I really appreciate online, and I hope to one day see them all. And I think we will very soon. So with that said, the song is playing at the end of this video. I used a lot of images from the book because I imagine it as a movie one day. So I put a lot of images to help you guys, imagine the world I live in, or when I wrote the book, what these guys live in. Like I said, I used Speechify for the first chapter. You can listen to the first chapter for free online. Otherwise, you can buy the book on Amazon or Kindle. Kindle's much cheaper. I don't know if you guys, and you also get the images in there as well, and much sharper. But I prefer a book myself, just because I personally I can't I can't read forever on a screen. So so with that said, please leave a comment. Please hear the song out, and leave a comment and let me know what you think. And I don't think I'll be able to make a movie anytime soon from it, simply because, well, we're all going to be raptured up here. So maybe after the rapture, in heaven I can make it, or after the 7 years of tribulation when we all come back to earth. Thanks, and God bless. Take care. Bye.
Stops ticking, winds whisper low. Shadows are creeping, the river won't flow. No turning back now, the dice have been cast. The hourglass shattered, this breath is your last. Do you hear the thunder calling your name? The sky is bleeding, the ground starts to shake. Promises broken, too late to wait.